The day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 375. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/RatedG4Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Bertino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Whew, that, I gotta say, a little peek behind the curtain. That intro was a little hard to get through. Still a little sick. I thought I'd be done with it at this point, but that is not the case.
So Dave, somebody accidentally shot Dave with the T virus, but we gave him the antidote. And we don't know. This may turn into Resident Evil 9, maybe.
Could grow a third arm. Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows? Well, you know what?
Evil 9. Who knows?
Maybe, listen, maybe you'll grow, maybe you'll grow 4 more arms and turn to Spider-Man.
Ooh, I could. I thought you were going to say Goro, but, I'll take it. So, even though I was sick, I was able to do some stuff. And I caught that new Oppenheimer movie. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but...
I have not seen it.
Okay.
I didn't know... Wait. I didn't know Iron Man was in it.
Everybody's in it. Yes.
I didn't know Iron Man was in it.
Yep. Iron Man's in it. Emily Blunt's in it. Lots of people. I'm trying to think. Cillian Murphy, who famously played the Scarecrow in Christopher Nolan's The Batman Begins. I think he was in the other two as well as like a cameo.
No, he was in the third one. He was in the Dark Knight Rises.
I gotta say, it is a 3-hour movie. It is very long, but you're on the edge of your seat the whole entire time, even though most of it is about theoretical physics and there's a lot of talking, because you know what's at stake, right? It's World War II. It's the threat of the great superpower in Europe. They mention Germany, they mention Japan, but you never see a single scene of war. Anything is either brought about when, a general walks in the room, talks about the severity of the issue, or they show up a newspaper headline and they point to the thing. But it's wild how they do that, right? They create all this tension without actually, showing the horrors of war. And that was intentional. It's something no one wanted to do. Great movie. I highly recommend seeing it.
It's the best talking movie you ever seen?
It's definitely the best movie I've seen all year, for sure. It's the best movie I've seen in a long while. Lots of practical effects. I don't think they really... even when they were doing the explosions and all that, they made it as practical as possible. So
you don't think they actually had an atomic weapon and blew up a town or anything like that in real life?
Well, they did do the Trinity experiment, which I believe was the final test before they dropped the bombs over in Japan. Nolan says they used practical effects in this movie and didn't use any sort of CG or whatever else. Now maybe there was some CG that kind of sweetened up some of the scenes and whatnot. I'm sure there was some, post effects that went in there, but for the most part it was practical. So I don't know. Maybe they faked it with camera trickery and whatever else. I don't know. But
right. It's on the list. I'm probably not going to go to the movies to see it. I would, I'll stream it when it actually comes out on streaming devices. So
yeah.
I mean, look, I still haven't finished Fast X. because I seen it at the barbershop.
Oh.
And I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay because I don't know how it ends.
Sure.
I can't wait. I'm not spending $20. I refuse to spend $20 to buy something that I've already seen I want to say 85% of the movie.
You got to go back for a haircut again and then see the rest of the movie, right?
So now I gotta wait till it's out on streaming so I can see how it ends.
So, one more thing about Oppenheimer, and then I got to ask what you've been up to. But my dad, who really wants to see the movie, he's got a picture of him with Robert Oppenheimer down in D.C.
Wow.
Yeah. My dad is, he's in his 80s now, so, he was born when World War II was happening, and he's a chemistry teacher, so he knows all about science and all that, and obviously he studied Oppenheimer and Oppenheimer's work to some degree, and he knew who he was. Like, he would be, hey, that's Robert J. Oppenheimer, and he caught him down in D.C. and he was able to get a picture with him, and he has it hanging up in his office. It's wild. So.
Wow.
I really want him to see the movie because, I mean, it's just a great movie, but I know he'd kind of enjoy it because, like, he's, oh, hey, I met that guy. It's crazy. But, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So what have you been watching, Dan? I know you've been seeing some exciting stuff.
Well done. So I did see Ahsoka, right? The first 2 episodes. All right. I know. I can't wait for you to see it because Mr. Darth Vader himself will make an appearance. There was in the trailer, so we know he's going to be in
James
it.
Earl Jones?
As Anakin.
James Earl Jones is in it?
No. Anakin Skywalker will be in it. Ponytail Anakin.
So the Ahsoka TV show has Hayden Christensen DLC already. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, it's the TV show is, well, first it's a live action continuation of the cartoon series Star Wars Rebels.
Okay.
So if you watch the cartoon, then you'll know everything about the TV show because it's just a continuation.
Do I need to see Rebels first?
No, because because the Rebels was like before, if I'm not mistaken, I think it ends right before episode 4, right? So now this is like years later, right? Because it's over. The Empire is gone. Darth Vader is gone, and she did team up with Luke because they did have Luke Skywalker in, I believe it was The Mandalorian. Yeah, I think he was in Mandalorian when they had it, or The Mandalorian. Yeah.
Spoilers for people who haven't gone through all The Mandalorian, but I knew that already.
Yeah. So this is like after the war's over. So talking about Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker will all be flashbacks. They won't be like, in present day, obviously. So
right.
I watched
for
that.
Reasons, for reasons.
The first episode's a little slow. Second episode definitely kicks it up a notch, and I hope everything stays the way of that second episode, right? Like I would say this, the first episode, if you didn't watch Rebels, you will be a little lost because it's sort of setting everything up, like, bringing the band back together again for certain reasons that I won't say because that does spoil the cartoon or the end of the cartoon. I won't mention that, but the second episode actually gets into actual, good lightsaber battles. So, and it picks up the story.
Okay.
So you got that, and I watched it in opposite, I did watch Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3, but Guardians of the Galaxy, the Christmas special, which came out before 3.
Oh, with special guest Kevin Bacon.
Special guest Kevin Bacon is hilarious. It is so good. It's like an hour, so it's
well,
only an hour.
Speaking of Star Wars, it's meant to be their Star Wars Christmas special, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole bit. Yeah.
No, it was so funny and awesome, and it was quick. And honestly, if you've seen 3, and we talked about it off camera, but a little bit this part, but I'm not going to say it. If you've seen episode 3, there's something you didn't catch between episode 2 and 3 that was so minor. You were like, oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. That you got to watch the Christmas special and it'll fill you in. Because I was like, I did say the same thing. I was like, really? I didn't even know that was like a thing, but now it makes sense. So, yeah.
Okay.
But all right, this isn't the Disney or TV show or movie podcast. This is a video game podcast, and we have an awesome show this week. coming up, we're going to talk all about Gamescom Opening Night Live 2023. This is the ONL episode.
Yep.
All right. Or should I say Opening Night Live, the game? Because that's what this was. This was just the third Game Awards of the year. That's what it was. It was the Game Awards without any awards. That's what this is. It's the same thing. Jeff Keighley is on stage, and he's like, I'm really excited to show you this trailer.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
And that's awesome. I'm not
You're not putting it in a negative light. You're just calling it what it is. Yeah, it is one half of the Game Awards, right? Which is the trailers. If anything, you're putting down the Game Awards for having too many trailers, but
no. I mean, that's another story. That's a little story. I think they could present the awards and have more time for them to sort of like, give a speech. But I understand press for time. The button. What was the comedy show? Was it SNL that had that button? No, Dave Chappelle. He had the speech. The music is playing and you got to like wrap it up from the Dave Chappelle show back in the day. Yeah.
Yep. Wrap it up.
But before we get into any of that stuff, let's begin the show with notable games coming out in September. Mm-hmm. As always, all the game releases here I take from Game Informer. So if any of these releases are incorrect, don't blame me, blame Game Informer. That's it. So we kick the month off with the biggest game, maybe the biggest game of the year, and it's Starfield, coming out September 6th, Xbox Series X, and PC.
Kind of give Zelda a run for its money. I'll tell you that.
Hopefully, we'll see. It's Xbox. It's officially Xbox's biggest game of the year, right?
Yeah,
hands down.
This is definitely huge. I mean, this comes off the heels of them buying Bethesda. This comes off the heels of taking Starfield away from PlayStation, which we know was in full development at some point in time, and then they said nope, it's going to be an exclusive, which I think makes sense. It's big. Certainly a system seller. I feel like it'll be a system seller. We don't necessarily know just yet.
So, as a side note, and we didn't discuss this, but I do want to just mention it. I kind of like, so right now PlayStation has the different faceplates, right? And you can, if you're watching the video, you can see it behind me. I have 2 color faceplates there, and special editions.
Yep.
They will sell the faceplates separately and the controller,
right?
So you can have your own
special
editions, right? Xbox now, in response, I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh, the wrap.
They have the wrap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it
looks cool.
That's
cool.
That's kind of crazy. There's a Starfield wrap.
And
with it's by magnets too, right? Like you can wrap it around. You wrap it around. That's crazy.
And they specifically said that they designed it so that it wouldn't hinder airflow or increase the heat of the system output. So that's a good thing, because you start putting wraps around your consoles and whatnot. It's usually bad for business, but yeah.
I'm definitely buying it. When it comes out. It comes out like awesome. In October. Comes out like October. Mm-hmm. All right, sticking with September 8th, we got NBA 2K24 coming out PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, X1, Switch, PC, except for Stadia. Everything. This may be the last I say everything except for Stadia. Maybe the last time I say that.
Is this the only sim basketball game in town right now?
I can't remember the last time we had an NBA Live.
Right?
When was the last time we had NBA Live?
18 maybe. It's been a while. Yeah, so this is the only game in town, sim-wise.
Yeah. Then we got Super Bomberman R2 coming out September 12th on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, X1, Switch, and PC. No Stadia. So I'm actually, funny enough, I'm not saying this is going to be a sleeper hit by any means. I like the original Super Bomberman R, and maybe that's because it was one of the only games you could get for the Switch, because it was a Switch exclusive until maybe like the first 2 years.
And I played it once. Yeah. It was.
I played it. I played the heck out of it. So I'm not a big Bomberman fan, so I can't really compare. So I played it and thought about it only on its own merit. I couldn't compare it to anything.
It's definitely on the lower end. Like, taken on its own, if it was the only game that you had to play or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not bad by any means. I don't think it elevated the Bomberman experience by a lot. You could do
I think IGN
player
gave it like
multiplayer,
7.
which was nice. That was cool.
I think IGN gave it a 7.
Yeah, I mean it's fine for what it is, yeah, but it's there are better Bomberman versions out there, for sure.
All right. Coming out September 14th, we got the Crew Motorfest coming out PS5, PS4, Xbox One, PC, Xbox Series S, X. It's not coming out on the Switch. But if you're a Switch fan, the next day, September 15th, Batten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster comes out. So if you are a GameCube fan, because those were GameCube exclusives, right? I don't think they came out anywhere else.
Batten Kaitos were GameCube exclusives. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And very expensive at this point in time in the retro market. So this is
I think
good all around.
Two more than one, because I did see one recently while I was in the city at the Nintendo store last time, which was maybe like a month ago.
Right.
They had it in the retro game store for like $50. So
well, I mean, you're not going to get it for like $5 or $10 or even $20.
Oh no, definitely not. Oh, 100% not. No.
Yeah.
But I think the second one is like $100.
Yeah, that one's a bit pricey.
All right. September 19th, you have Lies with P coming out. Current gen PS5. Lies of P.
Mm-hmm.
PS5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC. This is sort of the Dark Souls and the Pinocchio universe.
It is very much so, yeah.
I did not enjoy it when I played the demo.
Yeah.
Didn't enjoy it one bit. Not a game for me. I won't be picking this up.
I like the atmosphere. I mean, I like the gameplay. I thought it was a little rough around the edges in the demo. I also thought this game was out already. I don't know why I thought that, but I remember the demo being out. We both played the demo, so I don't know. I may get it when it's on sale and try and try and get through it. It is a very Souls-like game. It's very tough.
Yeah. A game I'm super hyped for. Huge Mortal Kombat fan. And that is Mortal Kombat 1 coming out the same day, September 19th, PS5, Xbox Series X, S, PC, and the Switch. I'm really curious how they're going to make the Switch version. It's coming out the same
they did it for
time
Mortal Kombat
as
11?
the current.
Yeah, it just looked like dog shit.
I know, but it's coming out. It's coming out the same time.
Yeah.
When they ported Mortal Kombat 11 later on, maybe like 2 years later, was it like a year or two later? So this is coming out the same date with current gen consoles. So I want to see how this is going to work out.
Typically, they have a separate team or a dedicated team working on the Switch version because it's so vastly different. You have to do a lot of work to get it on the system. I feel like a lot of people are going to be jumping for the PlayStation and Xbox versions over the Switch versions, but
definitely the PS5 version because it's a fighting game, so I love the DualSense for fighting games.
I just want this game to come out. They keep putting new trailers. Which we'll talk about later. Hype. Everybody's hype. Everybody's ready for the game. Like nobody's like, I don't know about this one. They're like, yeah, we have been sold for over a month now.
I know. All right, coming out September 21st, we have Payday 3 coming out PS5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC. I didn't think it looked that great. It didn't look current gen style graphics. It kind of looked still like it could have been even just maybe a slightly upgraded Xbox 360 version. It didn't look great in my eyes.
I think it's meant to be a little more like a Fortnite, wherein you can play it on a massive amount of machines. Like PC-wise, Switch, Xbox, whatever. It's not a very taxing game. It doesn't have, crazy modern warfare graphics, I think is kind of what they're going for.
Okay. We weren't going to talk about this later, so I'm going to bring it up now. I do like the trailer that they showed at Opening Night Live because I had Ice-T. He announced the game, and he's going to have like a special mission or something in the game. So I thought that was cool.
It was interesting because he said, I know about heists and money laundering or something, and I'm like, what? Is he like?
You've obviously never listened to his music or watched anything about Law and Order.
I mean, was it from his Law and Order days or was it from his gangbanging days? Because I don't.
Who knows?
All right.
Who knows?
All right.
We'll see. Who
Leave it
knows?
at that.
You never know.
Okay. All right.
Then we got Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty coming out for PS5, Xbox Series X, S, PC, coming out September 26th. We are not going to talk about this, but they did show a trailer at ONL, which was great. And the update 2.0 is going to be a free update for everyone, which is great.
2.0 is a big update because they usually do the incrementals. They do 1.0.1 and 1.0.2, and that'll have a lot of stuff. Like a 1.1 will be a major update. A 2.0 is like huge. So that's going to be a major overhaul. Are you going to get back into it? I gotta know. Is Idris Elba going to bring you back?
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the ONL trailer and they've refined the gameplay elements on here, I'm kind of thinking about getting into it.
Okay.
I may even buy it for the Xbox, the Xbox One, and play it on my Xbox Series X, just because I want to keep my save, because I did put a lot of hours into. I think I put maybe like 12 hours into my PS4 version on my PS5.
Okay.
And I kind of want to start new and get the mechanics down again, because it was a lot of shooting, a lot of hacking.
Yeah.
And I don't remember any of that stuff. So
Right.
I want to get back into the swing of things, and then maybe it's sort of like doing a tutorial all over again. And then I'll go back. I'll play the PlayStation version.
Yep.
And I don't want to do anything to my save. I don't want nothing to overwrite, because I'm going to be pissed if something happens to the 12 hours I did.
I feel you. Okay.
So it's only $18 brand new on Amazon right now for the Xbox. So I can pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, it is a 2-year-old game at this point, so
it is. It really should be a brand new game right now. They should have waited until right now to put it out, and then it would probably would have been in contention for Game of the Year with Zelda and Starfield and Spider-Man, and maybe Call of Duty.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, last game. EA Sports FC 24 coming out PS5, Xbox Series X, S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, coming out September 29th.
End of an era for the FIFA license. This is the new football or soccer game as we know it in America.
What does FC stand for? What does
Football
FC
Club.
stand for?
Football Club.
Got it.
That's typically a lot of the teams will be known as FC or whatever.
Okay.
I don't think much has changed. Surprisingly, you don't get the international teams because that's what the FIFA International Cup or whatever is that. So we won't get any international teams. That's what FIFA brings to the table, as well as the FIFA branding and whatnot. There may be some other small things that we end up losing, but I think for the most part, I think they've kind of kept most of it intact. So we'll see how it is. Yeah.
Well, that's not the only end of an era. I'm glad you brought that up. Speaking of end of the eras, it will be the end of an iconic era, and that is Charles Martinet as Mario.
Oh,
so he's hanging up his plumber trousers, and that's it. I don't know what was his last time actually doing the Mario voice officially. Maybe it was the movie. Like, I think the movie was maybe his last official.
I don't know if he did lines specifically for Mario, but I know he was in that movie. So maybe it was the movie.
Well, he was in the commercial when they did the commercial.
Oh, okay.
In the beginning of the movie, they had a commercial. We won't get into the details of that. That was his voice.
Okay.
So, but the new Mario game that's coming out in October will not have Charles Martinet and they like to say that his first game was Super Mario Brothers 64, but technically, he played Mario in some sports game prior to that, which was his official first game. But that's not as sexy to say, hey, he's been with us since Mario 64, right?
That game is so iconic. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of saying, he's been with us since Mario Soccer on the SNES. No. So, but I'm curious to see, is Chris Pratt going to be the new Mario voice?
Are you kidding me?
Is he going to be the new Mario voice in the game?
He'll be the movie voice, obviously, but they're gonna get somebody else. And
will you mutiny? Will you protest if Chris Pratt is actually the voice of Mario in the game?
I thought he was fine in the movie.
I thought he was fine in the movie too.
I thought he was great. I mean, you know,
You know,
there's not one voice actor that rules over. I mean, look at Jesus. Pick any video game franchise. They always swap out voice actors.
you know who I didn't like in the movie? It was Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
As Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if I liked it. I like it because I feel like he wasn't Donkey Kong. He was just Seth Rogen.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for him not to be Seth Rogen. He's got such an iconic laugh and voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Charles is retiring. I think it was a mutual thing, if you ask me. I don't think it was him just wanting to quit or them wanting to fire him. I think they sort of had maybe discussions. Because if he didn't do the voice in this game, and this game has probably been in development for, who knows, like 3, 4, 5 years, right?
A couple, at least. Yeah.
So these are probably ongoing discussions that they probably both had. I mean, he will be a Nintendo ambassador, I think they said. So he will still be around promoting.
Yeah, he'll probably do live in-person stuff and whatever else, and, Yeah. He did more than Mario, though. He did Mario, he did Wario, he did, I think, Luigi, Waluigi. Yes. He did a lot of voices. So they're gonna have to get someone to fill those big shoes. Well, they have already. I don't know if they've officially announced.
No, we don't know. Voices. They essentially said just look at the credits of the game when the game comes out, and you'll see who's the voice of Mario.
Now, how much is this not the cushiest job in the entire world to be the voice of Mario and however many other characters he does, the 5 or 6 characters total that he does? Because how much studio time do you think he has to do? It's a couple of Wahoos, a few Let's Goes, and that's it. He's done by lunch. I mean, Christ. I mean, like
no. Excuse me, Charles. Yeah. Can we a couple of more takes of those Wahoos? We weren't feeling it. The last session, we want to do an hour of just Wahoos. Just we're gonna change it up a little, right? And then in the last 5 minutes before you leave, can we get a Let's Go for the road? Thanks.
Right. That's it. I mean,
that's it.
He's so good at it too that he doesn't have to do retakes. Probably. He's one shot and I'm out. He's guys, watch this. Gang them all together and then go Martinet out. And then he walks out the door. And he's having a Cobb salad on the Sunset Strip. Let's go.
First of all, if we actually got to talk to him, he's probably like, all those Wahoos and Let's Go's, I did those 20 years ago. They just keep reusing them.
Right? How would we know?
Yeah.
As long as you get them as high fidelity as possible, you can make them work. Ugh.
I know. All right, Dave. As we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you been playing?
Thank you, Dan, for asking that question. I have been continuing my WrestleQuest adventure. I've been sick for a little bit, so haven't been able to put in all the time that I wanted to. But
it's officially out.
It is officially out on all platforms now. Yeah. The reviews have been pouring in. I think reception has been pretty good for that. So big shout out to Patrick Hickey Jr. and everyone at MegaCat and Skybound on their work. Clap all around. I'm still getting through it. The review is still pending, but there will be a review up on the website. Having a good time with it so far. It's pretty good. Story's been taking some turns and whatnot, so I like it. I like where the game is going. So, but I've also been playing for the upcoming Saturday morning retro, G.I. Joe on the NES, and it is a very interesting game. It is obviously a licensed property off of the G.I. Joe action figure toy line and subsequent cartoon and movie. They made a sequel to it, The Atlantis Factor, which is very interesting, and I dabbled in that a little bit too. So you can look forward to all my thoughts on the next upcoming Saturday morning retro. But
all right. Yeah. Well, since we're letting the cat out of the bag, I've been playing Pursuit Force for the PSP, which will be my Saturday morning retro game. I can say what I'll say is this: I'm very nostalgic for this game because I did buy it when it first came out. This was me dipping my toe because at this point I wasn't really a gamer. I was sort of dipping my toe back in because I brought a PSP and I brought all these games.
Yep.
Right? I think this came out in
2005, I think.
Yeah, well, the game came out in 2006, so I bought this.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I already had my PSP, and I would buy a couple of games periodically. I bought sports games though. It was I really was into the sports games and Dragon Ball Z.
There you go. There you go.
And I'm really mad. I'm really pissed off because, real quick, I played Dragon Ball Z. I forgot which Dragon Ball Z game it is. I still have it, by the way.
Probably
I didn't get rid of it or sell it.
Tenkaichi?
No.
The Tenkaichi
Is
ones,
it maybe? Maybe I played it and I 100%ed it.
Budokai, yeah.
I 100%ed it. I beat Broly. I beat everybody, which was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those were me sitting on the train for an hour trying to get back to the rock. You know, on the A train for an hour and 20 minutes sometimes. So I had time to really get good and really 100% it. And I was at one point I was going to sell my PSP. I know it's insane now as a collector. I was going to sell my PSP. So what I did was I cleared all my memory. I deleted everything because I was going to sell it.
You got rid of the save.
I got rid of I deleted the memory off the memory card Duo, and the sale didn't go through, thank God. So I still have my original PSP, but I don't have my original save. I'm really pissed off at myself that I did that.
Right.
So, but I've been playing that, and I beat TMNT Shredder's Revenge on Game Pass on the Xbox. I unlocked Casey Jones. It's the game. I gotta say, I want to say this: the first few levels, few boss battles, I thought were ridiculous. I didn't really like them too much. I thought they were, especially the second, I think it was the second or third boss battle, a little overly difficult.
The one where you're fighting in the car or fighting the
fighting the car.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous. But after those levels, it gets really good, and you can. It's a game. I'm not saying I didn't die in any other levels, but I saw like, oh, that was my fault. Let me go back. Right. So I think after level 3, level 4, it gets better.
Yep.
And I think I'm gonna go and play through with Casey Jones now. It was an awesome experience.
There's also the DLC. DLC's out, so.
Is it free DLC or do I have to pay for it?
No, I don't think it's free DLC, but
No?
I definitely want to get back into it. So if you want to go and play, I am definitely down.
Play it on Games Pass?
Sure, I got it for Games Pass and for Switch.
I got the physical on the Switch too. So, all right. On that note, why don't we take a break? When we come back, we get into the top gaming news of last week. Back. And Dave, before we get into the top gaming news of last week, I just want to point something out. If you're watching the video portion of the show, I can't really make out everything on Dave's shirt, but his Dungeons and Diners and Dragons, drive-ins and dives.
And it's the Flavortown campaign where you have to fight against the dragon version of Guy Fieri or however you say his name.
Wow.
It's amazing. I saw this instantly. I mean, I love my
Keys. So basically, it's D and D and D and D and D.
5 Ds. That's right. It's Dungeons, Diners, Dragons, Drive-ins, and Dives.
Wow. Okay. I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the top gaming news of last week. We got to start with ONL. ONL. Right. Opening night live
of the games.
Just the games. Yeah. It did start off with Jeff Keighley talking about the games are great. Welcome to Germany, the biggest gaming event in the world, which it is. I think
it's wild. Bigger than E3.
Like 500,000 people or something like that. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but I know it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And of course, with all those people at the Game Awards, opening night live. We still had somebody jump up on stage, and this guy just ran up on stage, and he said something about GTA 6, and Jeff Keighley obviously sideswiped him.
GTA 6, and I think Bill Clinton. I don't know. It was weird. I was like, what are you
talking
about, my dude? Didn't make any sense.
Dumb, but security got him, but I will say this: if I'm a presenter or a guest on one of Jeff Keighley's shows, this is not the first time somebody ran up on stage. So I'm kind of like, Jeff, if you want me to be here, and even for his own safety too, you probably want to get more security or scarier guys in the front.
Why is there not like dudes just like at the front of a concert, just like in a line? Just put him down there. Like, it was way too easy for that guy to get up on stage. It's crazy.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he got up there so fast, he had to stop himself from running into Jeff Keighley.
Right.
Because he wanted to get to the mic. And it was like, yeah, GTA 5 Bill Clinton. And it was like, what? No, okay. Stop.
Now, Keighley, being the consummate professional, brushed it off. He said a couple words. He said, look, come on. You can't be ruining it for the rest of us. We're here to have fun. We're here to talk about games. You got to be more mature than that. He did the Jay-Z, brush off your shoulder, and he kept it moving. It was great. Yeah. I was like, all right, handle that like a pro.
Okay. All right. But I will say the first and the last thing we saw, so I'm sort of putting them in I'm sort of combining them because they were sort of similar. Mm-hmm. We got a live action mixed into gameplay of Starfield and Alan Wake 2. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you felt about this, but this is sort of like a throwback for me from like the 90s when we would have sort of like the cheesy live action part trailer and then the gameplay afterwards, right?
Yeah,
like those commercials.
When you didn't
like
have
the commercials.
You didn't have the visual fidelity for the CG graphics. Yeah, the live actors. It was okay.
But you remember the commercials where we would have like you'll see I think it was like a Gran Turismo commercial maybe, or no, it was Need for Speed, where you had the cars racing in the actual game, and then you had real cars racing. Yep. And then you had Grandma came out of the car, and she was like holding up the corner store, right? Stick 'em up, Sonny, right? Like I thought that was it was cheesy, but it was awesome for the time.
Yeah. I mean, you do what you got to do. You work within the medium. I wasn't crazy about it. I was like, all right, whatever. It was cute. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna poo-poo it, but I don't know. I guess I really just want Starfield. I just want Starfield. I want it to be here now. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well, we have a tease of a sort of an adventure with that live action and gameplay, and Todd Howard came on stage, and I think that was his first time at Gamescom ever.
Yeah, right? Apparently,
which is kind of crazy to think about it. And he sort of said they basically said a lot of nothing. Basically, they said a lot of, we can't talk about this. Jeff Keighley's like, I've been playing the game, man. I can't talk about this. And Todd Howard's like, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm here to say I can't talk about this. That's basically, they said a lot of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, but do we need more of it? I don't think we need more of it. I think just having Todd Howard on the stage was enough, presence. It's like, oh, it's cool. Yeah. You have Todd Howard here. I don't need any more to be sold on the game. I'm ready to go. I don't want to.
No, I'm ready to go too.
I'm
ready to go too. I know it was a passionate, I can't talk about this, but you're gonna like it, right? Trust me, type of thing.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. So, and I thought the Alan Wake 2 one was really good because they sort of showed off the features of the dark place, and we got to see Alan Wake in action because prior to this, we never actually saw Alan Wake gameplay, right? So. When it was first announced, we just saw Alan Wake, we just saw Alan turn, and it was like Alan Wake 2. Then we saw it at the Summer Games Fest.
Right.
And we saw
the female campaign, or the female
campaign.
Yeah.
So now we get to actually see Alan Wake with the flashlight in New York for some reason. For some reason, he's in New York when he was supposed to be like in New Hampshire or something. So I don't know why he's in New York. He was in Subway. He's on the subway system.
He's a world famous writer, Dan. There's many reasons he could be in New York. Maybe he's at Borders doing a book signing.
Dave, they've already spoiled the ending of the original. He never got out. It's like Silent Hill, the movie.
I don't know. I haven't played the original. I don't know. I haven't played the original.
Well, they already spoiled it. They talked about it. They talked about
I still don't even know what the conceit is. I want to go in fresh.
Everything he writes comes to life.
Stop. Killing
that me. Is not everybody. They've all said it. It's all been said. He said it on stage.
I don't know these things. I don't want to know anything. I want to go.
Okay, put your fingers in your ears.
Okay.
But they did announce it is officially been delayed until October 17th, 2023. So can't wait for that. October is going to be a big month. We're going to talk about some of that later.
Oh my god.
We also saw we got a trailer for the new season of Diablo 4, season 2, called Season of Blood, and it added Vampire Hunter Companion, and that comes out October 17th as well.
Yeah, I just need to say about D4, it sucks that you got to start back at level 1 if you want to engage in the new content. They specifically, that's how they set it up. They want you to start over from the beginning and do different builds and try different characters and go, but it's a lot. At the end of the day, it's very grindy. So I don't know how much further I'm going to engage with the additional content. The other thing that they said too is that this seasonal content is going to be separate from the main storyline with like Lilith and all that stuff and all the main quest line stuff. And they said that for a reason too, that they want these things to be in the world of Sanctuary, but not continue the storyline directly, and that's what the big DLC drops will be. So like the seasonal content is like free, I think. You can engage in the seasonal content if you want to. If you want to roll a new character and get into all that, you can do all that for free. And then when they do the bigger DLC drops, and maybe there's like a new character class or a new part of the world that opens up, or whatever it is, those things will continue the story, which I think is kind of cool. So maybe I'll engage in that stuff. I don't know if I'm going to engage in the seasonal content, but it is what it is. That's the
well, they did tout it. He did tout it on stage as, hey, seasons are great, especially if you're a first time player, because you get to come in and everybody starts on the same level. It's a way to introduce you to the game, and then maybe you'll want to play the campaign.
Yeah. I mean, it's just still very.
You're a little salty. You're still a little salty. You're still a little
grindy.
salty.
It's grindy. Because,
it's very grindy. It's very grindy.
Right? To go from 1 to 90 is a lot of work. It takes a lot of work.
So,
but
all right. We finally got a release date for Tekken 8, Dave's favorite fighting game franchise of all time. Tekken 8. We thought it was going to be released this year. It should have been released this year, so we can have the showdown at the Game Awards of the best fighting game of the year, right, between Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken, the 3 most prolific fighting game franchises of all time. But it is coming out January 26th, so this would be one of the biggest games coming out next year.
It'll be the biggest AAA title to come out, the first big AAA title to come out, and probably the first one to come out that year. Yep.
Yeah.
I am happy.
Can't wait for that.
I'm happy that my boy Brian Fury is in there. I love him so much that I went as him for Halloween in 2009.
You did?
My other boy, Eddie Gordo, I don't know if he's going to be in there. They have Leroy, who's related to Eddie Gordo. He was in his Tekken 3 ending cutscene, which you're like, what is this about? Why is this like this weird like R&B R. Kelly video? And who is this Leroy guy? And funny enough, 20 years later or whatever, we get Leroy as a character, as a DLC in Tekken 7. People loved him so much, or Harada loved him so much, and bringing him forward to Tekken 8. Where's my boy Eddie? You got to get Eddie in there.
Oh.
And if you're going to get Eddie, you got to get Tiger. You got to get his alternate form where he's the Disco King.
No, you know what you need? You need some TMNT DLC, baby. That's what you need. Complete the trifecta.
That would be
the
awesome.
Turtles need to come to
That
Tekken.
Would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
They do have they do have the Blade ripoff character in there though from Tekken 5.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
He's super cool. Don't get me wrong. I forget what his name is offhand, but he looks like Blade more or less. He's got teleportation powers. He's super cool. And they got Dragunov, who's like the weird kind of vaguely Nazi-ish character. He wears like brown military gear. He looks a little like Russian or German. I don't like him so much, but the Blade character is awesome. Yeah, he's super cool.
Well, since we have to wait for Tekken, we don't have to wait too much longer for Mortal Kombat 1. Mm-hmm. We got another trailer for Mortal Kombat 1. Talk about things I don't need any more trailers for. Just give me the game.
Exactly.
We get to see two new fighting characters, Sindel and General Shao. General Shao seems to be taking the place of General Shao Kahn from the original timeline.
So it's a different character?
Yes, General
Shao. Is not Shao Kahn.
is definitely not Shao Kahn.
Okay.
Could be his son.
Okay.
He has horns, like he is.
Related?
What was the big horn? What was the character with the big horns that was like the horse character?
Oh,
It was like a
Mortaro.
beast. Mortaro.
Who was
Yes.
also
Like he's
also featured in the trailer. I believe he's like an
as
assist
a
character.
as an assist character, but he looks like he's like a cross between Montaro and Shao Kahn, and that's why they call him General Shao. Right. So definitely looks like, and we got to see Raiden is Earth's hero now. So we were wondering who was going to be Earth's hero, right? Because it was Liu Kang, but it would make sense that since now Liu Kang is a god,
He's the fire god, right? Yeah.
yeah, he put Raiden in his place as
back on Earth
sort
now.
of back. Yeah, and obviously this is a younger Raiden, not the older, wiser Raiden, right?
Right.
So that makes sense. And then Call of Duty, we got Call of Duty gameplay from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. This is official. We didn't talk about it in the last episode, but it's officially coming out November 10th, right? I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to get it on the PS5 just because it probably is the last time. The last time I'm going to get it on the PS5 with all the marketing.
Oh well, with all the marketing for sure. Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
they're committed to keeping it on PlayStation at least for a little bit.
No, I know that.
What I want to know is, were those visuals from the PC version, or were they from the console version? Because they looked
Probably
phenomenal.
PC.
They look great, right?
probably from the
They
PC.
basically showed you the first mission, right? The 438 or 638 or whatever 639, whatever they ended up calling it. And, parts of it were definitely like in engine. I don't think they were pre-rendered, but they were definitely in engine, so they were able to like kind of zhuzh them up a little bit. And then they went down to the actual gameplay. You saw the HUD and you're moving around with your like assault rifle and all that, and you kind of going through the sewers. It looked amazing. Yeah.
That was
It
the
looked
perfect,
amazing.
but that was like the perfect slice to have as a trailer because it has everything you want: stealth, action, right? You're rappelling down into like this prison,
Yep.
and the lights are out, so you got to have your night vision goggles, and then you're trying to snipe people, and as you come down, and then the lights come on, and you get into a little gunfight. So it's a perfect slice to have a trailer. I can't wait to have my Call of Duty weekend as I always do.
And they also said they're continuing the story from the previous Modern Warfare 2. And different
Modern
studios.
Warfare 2 remake.
Yeah, well the new one. Yeah, the new one, yeah. And the last one was done by Infinity Ward. This one, I forget, it was Treyarch or whoever, but different studio, they are collaborating on the story to kind of tie things together between 2 and 3.
So this is what I want. When Microsoft inevitably actually gets this franchise
It wasn't happened yet.
in-house, it will. When they get it, when they in-house, after October 15th now, I think. So please change it to the 3 studio motto again, right? That would like bring it back to that. Even maybe make a new studio. I don't know what you do, but bring it to the 3 studio motto so we can have some sort of diversity in our Call of Duty games. That would be awesome. Thank you.
They did say that they're gonna like not annualize the releases, right?
Well, he said it's something he's thinking about, maybe not annualizing the releases, but nothing's in stone yet because they don't own it. But once they own it, then they can actually look at the financials and maybe as part of the deal they want to actually recoup some of this money back as quick as possible. So maybe it would be in their best interest to annualize it at least for the first couple of years.
I mean, I don't think any of them sell badly. Even the ones that don't sell well still sell really well, comparatively to the other ones, maybe not so good. But
here's the thing. This is the thing that drives me nuts with like mainstream media. When I say mainstream media in video games, at least, it's like, Call of Duty, it didn't do so great. It did better than like 90% of the games that came out.
It's one of the top selling games of the year, just compared to the compared to the good Modern Warfare game. Yeah, it looks bad.
Yeah. It's like, we didn't sell 8 million. We sold 6.5 million.
Right, exactly.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's great. That is phenomenal. Not to mention how many people are still playing online, buying all those DLC packs, buying the skins, all the stuff you're making on microtransactions. Please stop. Please stop.
Tell him, Dan. Tell him. You got to get on those earning calls and go, stop.
I know. Stop. Please, no. please stop.
Yep.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt. Please stop.
Ah.
Okay, and I'm gonna say said by Hayden Christensen. Just
Nice.
that's gonna
There
be
it
my
is.
T-shirt.
There it is. There it is.
That's gonna be my T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got another release date. Sorry, Alan Wake, you're not the only game in town coming out October 17th. Not only we got Alan Wake 2 coming out October 17th, and we got Diablo 4 Season 2, Season of Blood coming out October 17th.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Sonic Superstars. That's coming out October 17th. Now,
Looks
we got
very
the
good.
official release date.
Looks very good. It's a
It
2D
came out.
Sonic.
Yeah.
We all know how good the 2D Sonics typically are.
2.5D, right? Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's you're going left to right more or less. I'm excited.
I'm excited for it too.
Yeah.
I'm super hyped for it.
I don't like the 3D ones a lot because Sonic moves very fast. It's hard enough to control it in a 2D side-scrolling environment, let alone a 3D environment, and not make you super nauseous and sick.
Well,
not have the controls be super tight. It's very, 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 very hard to do. So.
Well, I would say this. You really got to, I know you played the demo, and I don't know what system you played the demo on, but you should really, especially if it's on sale, and it's 100% going to be on sale during the holiday, give Sonic Frontiers a try, especially now, because they also said Sonic Frontiers is getting a free update later this year called The Final Horizon, and it'll have new story, new playable characters, and new challenges to play.
Maybe I'll give it another. Maybe I'll give it another go.
And I really liked Sonic Frontiers. I'm not gonna say I loved it, but I really liked it, and maybe because I got frustrated with that first boss, because it is essentially sort of open world Sonic. Like what was the Mario game? The port from the Wii U, and they added an open world Mario section to it. I can't think of the name right now. It escapes me. What was the Mario game that came out like 2 years ago on the Switch?
Oh, it was
Bowser's Fury. Bowser's Fury.
Oh, damn, you cut me off. I was going to make a Hayden Christensen joke, but you beat me to it.
Hayden. What was the joke? Now I'm curious.
I was going to say, obviously, the game is Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer starring Hayden Christensen.
There you go. Okay.
Well, technically Jake Lloyd, because he'd be the little kid in the pod racer, but whatever.
Well, no, Super Mario Brothers, Bowser's Fury, featuring Hayden Christensen as Bowser.
The extra DLC that came out last year. Yep. It's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Highly regarded.
It's awesome.
In
awesome.
those in the community.
Yeah. It was sort of like that. Like just sort of open world in this, open rainy terrain that you can go into.
Yep.
And, bosses are just there, right? You can choose to skip them or try to, get the puzzle to figure out how to beat them. Mixed in, there were sub worlds that you go into, which was sort of like, sort of like an old school 3D, like Sonic Boom 3D, their old 3D games that they had previously. So I was really digging it. It just, at the time, it came out with other games that were more important.
Yeah.
And I just never got back to it. But I feel like I would really like it. So maybe I'll retry it. I'll redo my save, because I'll be honest, I forgot sort of the mechanics and the conceit and the control, because you go really fast, but there are ways that you can slow down and stuff. So I want to get back into it. That's another game I want to get back into. That's one of those. When we have an off time, like
it ain't going to be this year, Dan. This year is way.
It ain't going to be this year.
It's getting into the crunch time.
Beginning of next year,
maybe,
right?
Yeah. Well, then you're going to have Tekken.
Before Tekken comes out. You're
going to have a day of reprieve. That New Year's Day, you'll be able to play Sonic for a little bit.
Well, again, like I said, October is shaping up to be really, really big. In a week later, we have Fort Salis officially. We got an official launch trailer, and it's only coming out for the PS5 and Epic Game Store. And I know you were really all about this during PAX. You were really big for this.
I love it. It's as far as I understand, it's a non-combat space madness kind of mystery adventure type game. You got to figure out what's going on this space colony, this little space outpost. Really, really cool, really atmospheric. The parts that I did play. I do want to say one of the actors on stage, he didn't quite realize, but he misspoke and said there was no delays. You know, game no delays. There's no hiccups, and there was because it was supposed to be out in May, and it got like pushed a little bit. But you know, they're like the voice actors for the game. You know, they don't necessarily know all the ins and outs and whatnot, but they're just trying to hype the game up. But I was like, wait a minute.
It looks like Dead Space meets like Heavy Rain. A little bit.
I mean, yeah.
It's like you're literally by yourself. I mean, the Dead Space sort of the world atmosphere is not as gritty as Dead Space, but it's sort of gritty, and you're in this space station.
I think it may get a little bit dark as you go on, but yeah.
And some creepy things start to happen, and it's like, what's happening? There are no enemies per se, so there are no weapons as far as we know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I thought it was cool, but I don't know. What was the?
I mean, you love a narrative driven game.
I do. No, I do.
Right.
But I also don't like spooky games.
Well, I don't know how spooky it's going to be. Maybe it's just more mysterious than spooky. Who knows?
I watched it when we played it behind closed doors. It was pretty spooky. I was like, I don't know. You know, maybe throw some sunlight in here. Throw some sunlight in here. I'm cool with spooky games. Yeah. But we did get some new announcements. There wasn't all just trailers of games that we know. We got some new announcements. We got Killing Floor 3 was announced, right? Mm-hmm. Mostly a PC game. I don't know if it's out on consoles in any way, maybe digitally, or maybe like limited run put out the Killing Floor 1 and 2, but I know it's mostly known for being a PC game. I thought it was Doom, to be honest. I thought it was like a DLC from Doom when we watched the trailer. Yeah. Because it was like a monster that was being created.
Yeah. Yeah. I played it at PAX one year, Killing Floor 2, I think. It's essentially like just like a monster horde survival thing where you just have to like survive and whatever level you're in, and you know, you'll get weapon drops and health upgrades and whatever every like now and again, and you just got to keep going as long as possible. That's like essentially what it is. Really fun. It has that kind of Doom feel to it, right? The kind of like heart pumping, you know, balls to the wall action where you're just going, and they got that cool soundtrack going behind it. The theming is very much like kind of doomish, very kind of dark and gritty. And
then we got Little Nightmares 3 was announced.
Three's all around.
Three's all around, and it's a little bit different than the previous two because it's sort of like a co-op adventure now. So now it's
the first two weren't co-op; they were single player, right?
First two were single player, and now this is a co-op adventure.
Yeah,
so
it looks
more.
Cute.
And look, I have the special edition for the second one. It's somewhere behind me. I don't know. I'm probably blocking it.
You were big on these games, right, or no? I forget.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. No. It's just like Oh man, I'm terrible with names. If you know me, I'm terrible with names, especially with game names. What was the game that came out? I think it was like an Xbox exclusive. It was like a digital game, and like a spooky game. And at the end, you came into this like you got mixed in with everybody else, and you were like this giant ball with arms and stuff hanging out. I can't think of the name of the game.
Oh, yeah! It was Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer starring Hayden Christensen. No, I actually wait. No. Seriously,
Limbo. What was the other game after Limbo?
Oh, Inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
This gives me like Inside vibes, right? Mm-hmm. Essentially.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah. Well, we were inside Hayden Christensen's head, his ears.
There it is.
When he was Darth Vader in episode 4. That's what it was. So, all right. That was ONL, Opening Night Live of the games.
Yep.
But we did get some other news at Gamescom. So there was like a press release. Microsoft did release a press release that S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 will now have a new release window of the first quarter of 2024. And
not surprising. It's a game that's been in development hell for the longest time. I think it's going to come out the other end.
Development hell due to the conflict, between Ukraine and Russia.
Oh, that was a very mitigating factor. Yes, for sure.
Yes.
And
So,
I mean,
I
obviously,
just want to see the game when it comes out. Like everybody, I
oh,
want
for
everybody
sure,
to be safe.
for
So yeah,
sure. The first one was a technological marvel on the PC, highly regarded. Crazy, yeah.
nice. And then we finally got some Sony news actually, because Nintendo is not at Gamescom.
Yep.
Let's just put it. Nintendo's at Gamescom. Xbox, huge presence at Gamescom, and rightfully so because they do have Starfield to promote. So it makes sense that they're going to be there.
Right.
But Sony's there, and we did get hands-on previews of Sony Project Q, which now is officially named PlayStation Portal. It is the handheld DualSense Wii U gamepad for Sony.
Streaming device. Yeah.
So it's it's Wi-Fi, features 8-inch LCD screen that runs at 1080p resolution and 60 frames per second.
Right.
And we got a price, which is $199, which is the price that it needed to be if they wanted me to buy it. Because if it was any more, I wouldn't be out.
That is what I said. You can't go above $200, otherwise no one will buy it. That is the height. I wish it was less. To be honest, I wish it was less.
But all the previews, people said holding it in their hand and just holding it and using it, it felt great. It felt good.
Well, it's a PlayStation controller.
Nobody had any.
Yeah,
nobody.
It better feel good.
Nobody had any issues. Just sort of with the grip and holding it, it felt really good. We don't know it's still unknown about the battery life. Right, we don't know about the battery life. It will connect to your PS5 and where you can control your PS5, meaning it can turn your system on, which is great. As long as you and your PS5 are connected to Wi-Fi, you don't have to be on the same network too, which is great.
Right.
So you could take this. I can theoretically come to Dave's house and turn my PS5 on and play it, as long as obviously I'm connected to the Wi-Fi, and Dave has great Wi-Fi.
I don't know why you just wouldn't use my PlayStation 5 that's right there, but that's a whole other story. So one other thing I wanted to mention is that when you're on Wi-Fi, the internet connection needs to be at least 5 megabits per second. So you need to have, and that's the bare minimum. They're recommending 15 megabits per second. Which means your home Wi-Fi.
You ain't playing this at the library.
Well,
you're not going to the library.
You're definitely not going to be playing this successfully on public Wi-Fi. That's going to be tough unless it's really good Wi-Fi. Maybe the experience is fine on 5 megabits per second. We'll see how it is in the kind of real world. I'm certain that their test environments had optimal internet connections.
100%.
100%. The kind of cutoff Wi-Fi that's like only hooked up to those machines and whatever else. So you're gonna get the best experience possible there. We'll see how it is in the real world. But that is definitely something to note. The other thing I'll say is that I love the name PlayStation Portal. I think is a good name. No notes. Personally, I don't see the value in it. I know you're gonna get it, and you've made some good points off the mics as to why. I don't really have a reason for it because I live alone. I don't have to share the TV with anybody else, so having like a second screen situation doesn't really give me any sort of benefit. And if I'm gonna go out on the go, I would just take the Switch with me and play the Switch games. I would wait to play the exclusives at home on the big screen. Not everybody wants to do that. Some people want to play on the go and the whatever else, which is cool. But
well, I would say my biggest issue with this, because I'm gonna get it, and I personally love the idea. It does work for me because I do travel, and I do go to places with great Wi-Fi, so it wouldn't be a hindrance to me, at least hopefully, if it works the way it's intended, and I'm sure they've tested the crap out of it. So
we'll see, yeah.
The biggest thing I hate about it is it doesn't have Bluetooth, and I got to give them a knock for that.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't have Bluetooth. It has Sony, what they have called Sony Link. I can't use these. If you're watching the video, I have my wireless Apple earbuds in my ear, which I love.
Bluetooth.
Which are Bluetooth.
Right.
Which I should be able to use on this device, but you can't. So they're making me, if I want to put headphones on, they do have a headphone jack, but I can't use this Sony Pulse headphones. Okay.
Because that didn't have the technology that they're building for this thing specifically. So it's not even
special headphones.
Yeah, it's not even like they had it out there that like Sony had some weird proprietary thing or whatever, right? I'm pretty sure those headphones hook up Bluetooth to the PlayStation 5. I believe the controllers hook up Bluetooth to the PlayStation 5. Why?
Yes, I get the little dongle. Dongle that you plug into your PS5.
Now,
but I could plug it in with the wire. I could use the wire to plug it in. But I would want to use this wirelessly because we are now in 2023.
Right. Well, I mean, I can answer my own question as to why is they didn't want to pay the money for the license for the whatever Bluetooth codecs or whatever, because I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And it would have cost them a little bit more to have that in there. And if Sony builds their own thing and then whatever else, there's no licensing fees and whatever else. That's probably why they did it. It's annoying. It's annoying. Now, I would be
fair. To be fair, the Switch didn't have Bluetooth in it for many years.
Switch didn't have anything last
year. Yeah. Well, no, you can plug in. You can plug in. I know you can plug in your headphones,
right?
But they had nothing for wireless headphones until last year, I believe.
So what you could do if you did want to do it was you could get a USB-C dongle that hooked up to the bottom that had a Bluetooth transmitter. You could do it like third party or whatever. The sticking point for me is that they made their own proprietary thing. It sucks that the Switch
which they always do. It sucks that the Switch didn't have it, but they didn't railroad you into this proprietary thing. So now if you want to cut the cord, you can't. And I doubt they're gonna. I mean, maybe if this does well, maybe they'll make a revision. They'll make a Portal V2, and maybe that'll have Bluetooth. But I think they're gonna double down on this Portal Link thing or whatever, this Sony Link, which is dumb. I don't like it. I don't like it. Well, to be honest, I think this is just. I could be I am speculating.
Oh, of course, we're all speculating here. Yeah.
But this could be a look into the future because there are a Japanese company in Japan. I know they're mostly focused on the West now, but like in Japan, everything is portable, mobile, and the Switch is their biggest competitor in Japan. Because it could be a look into. Sony could be crazy enough to make sort of a Sony portable-ish thing like this, to where if you dock it in sort of like a console, where it would be like more powered, right? Like this could be a test run just to test it out, test to see how things go. I don't know. I am now just throwing out wild speculation, but I can see
make it more like a hybrid console thing.
For
their next console.
For the next console, yes.
Oh.
Yes, just to test out certain technologies and stuff.
They would have to have detachable Joy-Cons on there because this thing as it stands wouldn't work in a dock because you would be getting rid of the controllers.
Well, I guess you would have to buy a controller and you would put it in the dock.
I suppose you could, but that'd be a little silly with the little like dolphin flaps hanging off. I don't know.
But, well, you know what? Listen, if anybody can make it look cool, I would say Sony because I think the designs of all their consoles are pretty good.
Yeah,
but
they have a good design.
I'm going to say this right now, okay? You better put out those stupid headphones the same time you put this out because I ain't buying it later. I'll buy it at the same time. Those stupid earbuds.
You're gonna buy it later, Dan. Trust me.
I'm not buying it later.
No matter what.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it later. I'm gonna buy the stupid earbuds, but you got to put it at the same time.
Well,
okay, so it turns this into like $300.
I would recommend everyone buy a version of those Sony Link headphones because they are going to be worth a lot of money. Because I'm telling you right now, this is going to be the only thing that it's going to work with. Because Sony's not putting out CD players. They're not putting out MP3 players anymore. They're not putting out mini disc players.
I believe you. No, that's true.
That's not their market. There's no market for that anymore. Nobody's doing that. So what else would you like hook this up to? Maybe a cell phone? Are they still making the Sony Ericsson phones? I mean, like maybe those, but
they are making those. They sold the Vaio the
Sure,
Bio
Brands don't.
they are
Yeah.
they are making Sony Ericsson. They still
Okay.
they're just not I think they're popular in Europe. They're not
Right.
popular over here though.
Right.
So, all right, Dave.
Yeah, weird.
That's it for the news.
Mm-hmm.
You got any good weekend plans?
I'm gonna go on the internet and let everybody know my opinions about the Sony Portal. No. Yeah, no. I'm gonna keep plowing away at WrestleQuest. I'm deep in that story. You know,
Can I get a code, please? Patrick, can I get a code? Can I play the game? Can I get a Switch code?
We'll talk after the show, Dan. I think I got something for you.
So, all right, that's cool. Well, I'm moving, hopefully, eventually. So this may be the last time that you see this.
Yeah.
This background. This background may be full of other things from the living room.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it a little bit last show. I said I would come by and help if you need help boxing your stuff up.
So I do have some new things behind me, which I try to limit so that they didn't really stick out too much. The mic is blocking all the consoles I had in the living room. The digital PS5 and the Xbox Series S, and then my white dock for my
Switch.
For my Switch. You can't see it because the mic's in the way. I don't want to move the mic, but believe me, it's there. So I you may see nothing but boxes, brown background going forward. We'll see. Maybe not this episode, but definitely a couple episodes in. There are going to be a lot of changes in my background as I try to renovate my house, sell my house, and buy a new one.
Yep. Okay. Very nice. Well, I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it up until the time that you move. Good luck with the move. Sending the good vibes your way, because it is one of the best things and one of the worst things ever to do.
There's tough.
Pros and cons. It's very exciting moving into the new place. I love just setting everything up and mapping out I'm gonna make this room this thing and I'm gonna put this here and that there and and then you get down to the games and nitty gritty stuff and you start building out the retro game area and all that. That's all super fun. I've done that with my place. Most of it's pretty much done, so I don't do a lot of major takedowns and rebuilds of all my stuff, but every now and again you do a rework to the games and this and that, and that's a fun time. So yeah. Okay. I'm a little bit jealous in that respect. But yeah, I guess that's it. That's episode 375 in the books, folks. And we want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, and doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads at Rated G for Gamers. So please listen, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.